Hello and welcome to part 11 of our Avid Media Composer tutorial. So we've been talking about color correction in the past two videos, and we've been talking about LUTs, and we've been talking about doing contrast balancing. The third step in any color correction now from this point is what we call white and black balance checking. So we would just want to check our color levels and to make sure that our image is technically white and black balanced. So to do that, we want to go back to our Y waveform up here and open up this and go down to RGB Parade. Now the RGB Parade illustrates our red, green and blue color levels, and they directly reference our picture and tell us information about what colors are being outputted through this picture. So now that we've done applied our LUT and got our contrast balance, so now we've got a picture that we're quite happy with and is showcasing the most amount of black and white and mid-tone range in our frame. It looks quite moody as well. So first thing we want to do is we want to measure our white balance. So one way to do that is you want to go through your picture and find a common frame of reference, a white reference. So we can use this. So for instance, to check our white balance, we're going to use the white window frames that we have here, and to check that out, we go down here to our color correction window, and we have two fields here. And if we click on this field, a picker comes up and a color information window also populates. And this displays the amount of red, green and blue color information that the frame has. So we want to do a white balance check. So we hover our mouse over the white and we can check our white levels. So looking at the color info window here, with our mouse hovered over the white levels, we can see that our red is 160, green is 174, and blue is 169. Now these values are different for every shot, but what we need to take away from this as an editor and colorist is, in order to achieve a white balance, all three values in the red, green and blue need to be relatively in sync with each other. So they all have to kind of line up basically, so they have to share very similar values. So this is almost there in this case because the camera was white balanced properly and made sure that happened on set. So there's very little correcting necessarily, but for argument's sake, looking at the video LUT here, the video LUT is giving us the RGB color channels from our LUT itself, and from the video we're just getting the raw information from the video, which is not accurate because we are seeing the log file. So looking at this, we can, for argument's sake, say, well, I think we probably need a bit more red in the video. So at this point, let's go to our red curve, and we want to apply a bit of red information to our image. So to do that, let's plot a mid-tone point and raise that a little bit. And as you can see, our red, green and blue values need to match a bit more. So if we just check that, right, so that red, so now that I've pushed that red point there in the midtones, we've got a slight increase in overall red value. So we've got that, which is useful to know. And if looking at the RGB Parade again, we probably want to raise the blue as well. So to do that, let's raise the overall blue level. And like everything, the RGB Parade directly relates to the curves. So each component of the parade, so let's just take the blue part of the parade, each section of it, so the highlights up here, the midtones and the blacks, are directly referenceable in the curves. So our midtones being here, our highlights being at the top, and our blacks being at the bottom. If we apply a keyframe to any one of these three parts, we affect just that part of the curve. So in this case, if I wanted to raise the highlights a little bit, let's plot a highlight point. As you can see, I'll do a bigger example, that is affected only. Likewise, if we work on our blacks extend like this as well. So that's just one thing to bear in mind. And the same applies to green and red as well, the green and red values. So let's just check our white balance here. So we've manipulated it a little bit, 163, 172, 180. So looking at that, I probably want to just bring back down our blues. Whoops, wrong one, let's just bring that. There we go. Lovely. Let's just check that again. Right, lovely. That's nice. 170, 178, 179. So we're getting there with that, and I think that's quite good. Let's increase our red values a bit more. So we want to do it to the midtones. So let's do that there. And apply a highlight right there. Let's check that. Right, it's a bit more. So it's a case of finessing, really. This can take a bit of time to get right. Right, so let's increase that. Just be careful not to clip the top. Probably an overall mid-tone increase. Put a second keyframe. Again, the advantage of a second curve is you can apply multiple keyframes. Let's bring it up a bit more. Right, nice. So there we go, we got there. So red value is 175, green is 179, and blue is 178, which is where we want to be for our white balance. So we know that's working now. So the next step is, again, going down to our field there and getting our color picker. We can also do a black balance. So we can hover that over our black shirt. And our video lot is displaying red 39, green 39, blue 41, which is great. If we wanted to try and narrow that down a little bit, we could probably try and just increase the red and green in the shadows a little bit, just to get it up into those 40 figures. So let's just do that. And let's see if we can get it. So, right. Actually, that's pretty even now. Nice. So if we look at that and just dart across the black levels, our red, green, and blue values are 33, 34, and 34, which is pretty bang on, actually. Looking at that, I think we could live with that. Yep. So that is effectively a means to achieving white and black balance, which is the third step in color correction. Now, I just want to show something that was shot in tungsten balance, but was set in tungsten, but shot in daylight. And I want to show you the opposite, what that looks like on an RGB parade. So, taking away from this, a white balanced picture should generally have uniform red, green, and blue color values. This is very important. They are uniform. When they are uniform in our whites and in our blacks, then you have achieved white and black balance, which is exactly what you want when you want a neutral image for grading, for making further grading adjustments later. But we will explore a misbalanced shot in the next video. Until then, I will see you soon. Take care. Bye bye.